Back to COVID, I mean, everybody got so used to wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts. I found myself struggling once I got back into like a career where I was like, okay, what do I wear? You know, it was like a few years where you were just stuck in sweatpants. And I felt like I almost lost my fashion sense. So I felt like I had to find that, which is why I was more on the trendy side when I was working in the fashion industry. And then when I went to real estate, I really found my style, which happens to be more classic. And that's what I feel comfortable in and how I like to kind of portray myself out here in this market.
Pull up a chair. You're sitting at the table with Powerhouse Women, the podcast where bold women in business come to connect, collaborate, and build something bigger than themselves.
We always say, if you're fortunate to have a seat at the table, pull up 3 more. That's exactly what we're doing here.
This isn't just a conversation, it's a movement. We're creating space at the table for conversations that matter. The ones that challenge you, push you, and remind you that you do not have to do this alone.
Every episode, we're talking growth, success, and the real, unfiltered truths of entrepreneurship. No gatekeeping,
No fluff, just the perspective and community that you need to thrive. So, if you're ready to surround yourself with women who get it, you're in the right place, and there is already a seat with your name on it. What's up, Powerhouses? Welcome back to another episode of At the Table with Powerhouse Women. It's just Marli and Kelsey today, just the two of us. Kelsey, this is actually your first podcast on season 2. So how does it feel to be here?
I'm excited, honestly. And it's a topic that I feel passionate about. It's a topic that you and I can very much relate on. So I'm excited to just get into it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So Kelsey and I were actually chatting the other day about how we really wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this conversation that has been coming up more and more lately around professionalism and how it shows up in today's world, especially when it comes to how young professionals dress now versus how they used to back in the day.
Yeah. So it's funny. I had somebody who's older, and by older, I mean she's like in her 80s, but she's still very much involved in the workforce. She goes into the office every single day. She is in the finance world. So life for her was very different growing up and making her way into the corporate world. But she, expressed how we were just talking about women in general and how she feels like women just need to be more professional these days. And it got me thinking, like, what does that mean? And she started talking about how women dress too sexy for the workforce. And there were a lot of thoughts that originally went through my head, which we will dive into, but times are very different now. And so I'm just overall excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I am too. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. I don't really hear too many people talking about it, and it needs to be because things really have changed. I think it's even changed since we got into the workforce when we were out of college. COVID definitely took a play in that, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. But I wanted to ask you, when you think about professionalism, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And then how has that changed over time for you?
I won't say it's changed, but it's definitely the way that somebody carries themselves.
Me too. It's not, that's the first thing that I think about.
Yeah, it's not the way somebody dresses, although it does play a role, but I think it's more so how someone carries themselves, their confidence, how they walk into a room, how they follow up, how they speak, things like that show someone's professionalism over some other factors that might have been how people portrayed professionalism back in the day.
I completely agree. And it's also how someone carries themselves in the outfits that they're wearing. Because just because somebody might be wearing something that looks super professional, they might not be carrying themselves well in it or the way that they act in it. So that definitely takes a play into that.
For sure. That's something that I've always tried to instill in myself and that's why I said it hasn't really changed because I've always tried to carry myself that way. And then on top of it, we're fortunate enough to have that eye for fashion where we can put together an outfit and make it look professional. It doesn't have to be the way it was back then, but make it look professional for the century that we are in and the times that we are in. So I think it all ends up going hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back a little bit to what people defined professional dress wear back in the day. It was very much so like suits, heeled, structured looks. And there was pretty much clear expectations throughout all industries. I think there was just like a general professional look that everybody embodied. But back then, professionalism was really tied to appearance in a big way. Like people respected people more and felt people had more credibility when they dressed a certain way. And I, like we already just said, I feel like that's kind of shifted now more so into how they carry themselves and how they speak and how they perform at work. It's not generally tied to the way that they dress anymore. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. You know, back then, like you said, I think it was women had to work their way into the workforce. It was dominated by males. And so you really had to show up a certain way, and that had to go hand in hand with the way that you looked. You know, she was telling me stories about how she was wearing like longer skirts. She wasn't wearing, you know, maybe some of the skirts that women wear today, and she was always buttoned up. That's very different than the world that we live in now. But that is how women gained respect back then.
Yeah.
It's funny how things change, but
They took one for the team for us back then.
they
But
did.
now we can be a little bit more free spirited.
But that's why it's hard for them to see women in the workplace now dressing the way that they do. Again, not bad, just it's different times, And they struggle with that because they're like, you know, I had to work so hard for it and look a certain way, and they expect us younger women to do that too. And I don't think it will ever go back to that place.
No, so much has changed. Obviously, like I think COVID really was the differentiator and when things shifted because everybody started working from home. And then once everybody started, you know, COVID kind of started dwindling down a little bit, then it became people full-time working from home, hybrid, just all different types of like offices kind of just dress down, like dress codes and stuff like that. So it's not like that across every single industry, but I've noticed it a lot, especially in real estate. When I first started in real estate, I think this was also a factor for just me. And I know you can relate to this as well. Like I wanted to dress up because I was 22 years old, a female, and I needed to gain that respect as women had to do back then. We all kind of have to do it at a point in time. So I was wearing like a dress, skirt, heels, super professional, buttoned up back in 2017 when I first started. But over time, once COVID happened, then I realized a lot of people were going to showings in jeans and it just got a lot dressed down. And I stopped showing up to the office like super buttoned up unless I have like a really important listing appointment and or like things that you need to be a little bit more buttoned up for. It's just dwindled down a lot and nobody feels like clients don't feel like it's necessary for you to dress up that much. It's like a little bit much now.
Yeah, no, 100% it is. And it's for me, I wasn't in an industry prior to real estate where I needed to be buttoned up like that. I was in the fashion industry, and not that anything goes, but I was going into an office, but I could dress more down or more fashion forward, and it wasn't frowned upon. But when I got into real estate out here, I did notice that my style changed a little bit. It went from more trendy to more like classic. So I wouldn't say like I'm super buttoned up now. Obviously, I like to dress professional like you, and it's how you gain respect. But similar to your market, you know, I'm in the Hamptons. I'm in a market where people wear tennis dresses to showings and flip-flops and shorts to showings. And so it's very, very different world. And I also find myself, you know, not dressing down that much, but there's always a happy medium, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think like my market's actually a whole mixture of a bunch of different things. But I mean, I also have seen people dress what they would consider professional, and it's like a bit ridiculous. It's almost like I would say like a mockery of that type of style. Like, blazers and slacks, and some people wear it in a way, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, like they're not carrying themselves well in that look. It's not really them. It's not who they are. And people want to feel when you're put together and you look put together, it shows, and it's in the way you carry yourself with it.
Yeah.
And I can wear a pair of jeans and a button down to a showing. Maybe I have like a little bit of an elevated shoe or something like that, but I look super put together because that's how I'm carrying myself in it. Even if it's just jeans and a sweater, like it could be super casual, but it's the way you're wearing it. You're not sloppy, you're not untucked, you don't have stains all over you. Like you said, not anything goes. Like you obviously have to be presented nicely, but you just got to be a little bit more put together.
Yeah, you do. You do. And that's something that I really I'm really passionate about, and like I pride myself on, is looking the part. But that, again, that doesn't mean I have to be buttoned up, especially in the market that I'm in. I feel like that's sort of kind of how I've differentiated myself, because I know how to put myself together, luckily. And I come from the fashion world, and you and I are both very more fashion forward like that. So I do stand out, but that's what it's all about. It's all about like knowing what fits you well, and all about the styling. Like you said, don't be sloppy, but you can wear something that's a little more casual. But if you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, tuck in the t-shirt,
Just
or
put more effort into it. That's all
right,
that.
right.
Yeah, just a little bit more intention, a little bit more effort. No one
Yes.
wants to see you look like you just rolled out of bed with your hair all ratty and you just threw on an outfit. Like that's what I'm talking about. Being put together isn't just your outfit looking good. It's about like the presentation that you're bringing with it. Like how are you presenting yourself to your clients? And this goes in across all industries. When you're showing up to an office, if there's no dress code, you still should be showing up looking somewhat presentable.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Anytime you're in front of a client, even when you're not in front of a client, I find myself like on days where I don't have to be in front of clients, or I don't have to be in the office, but I decide to go to like a coffee shop to work. I'm in such a small town that I make sure I put myself together, because I'm most likely going to run into 5 people that I know. And if I'm sitting at the coffee shop in leggings and a sports bra and no makeup and my hair up in a ponytail, like yes, I can do that, but they're not going to associate me with being a business professional.
Yeah, and you can dress like that when you have no intention of engaging with people in that way, but
Correct.
I'll do the exact same thing. Even if it's in a super casual outfit, like I'm even wearing like a sweatshirt, but like elevated, I still put myself together. I actually went to a coffee shop on like a Sunday. Like it wasn't even a work day. I'm sitting there on my computer all day. I was wearing a trendier outfit. Like I was wearing sweatpants, a sweatshirt, but I was wearing like a really cool jacket over it. And this guy was sitting next to me for a long time, and kind of towards the end of I was almost finished working. He was like, "I've been looking at your jacket all day, and I just have to ask, like, where is that from? Like, that is such a cool jacket." And even though I was very, very casual, it's a Sunday, I'm still standing out to some degree. Like, I'm still putting myself together. I created some sort of look, even in a casual way. And that is a part of like putting yourself together.
It is 100%. And I find myself being more productive when I'm dressing the way that I want to dress, and the way that I feel comfortable, and the way that I truly feel myself. I feel like I'm more productive in the workplace. So going back to kind of how things were back then, those also could have been the fashion trends, and nobody knew any different. But now it's like it kind of goes hand in hand with like, okay, you want to be comfortable, and also you can be productive and have both simultaneously like exist. So that's how I see it, is like you can dress down. You don't have to be so buttoned up, but dress intentionally and dress for yourself. Make sure you feel good, because when you feel good, you're going to be able to show up in the outside world and
Yeah.
show that.
That's always been my motto. Whether the outfit is more buttoned up or casual, doesn't even matter. Even in my workout sets, if I feel like I look good in my workout set, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, it's true. Kind of going back to COVID, I mean, it's crazy. And I even found myself struggling where everybody got so used to wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts, like
Tie-dye
in
set.
their home. Yeah, in tie-dye sets in their home. And I mean, crazy times when you actually think back on it. But I found myself struggling once I got back into like a career where I was like, okay, what do I wear? You know, it was like a few years where you were just stuck in sweatpants, and I felt like I almost lost my fashion sense. And I had to like,
So much during that whole period of time. Like,
yeah,
it stopped pretty much. Like,
yeah, it did. It did. And so I felt like I had to find that, which is why I kind of ended up going back into like, I felt like I was more on the trendy side when I was working in the fashion industry. And then when I went to real estate, I really found my style, which is happens to be more classic. And that's what I feel comfortable in and how I like to kind of portray myself out here in this market.
yeah, absolutely. And it does make you stand out. And in any industry, seriously, like the way you put yourself together, people will notice that. I know it's like that for you and for me. I've had clients that have commented on my outfits like after the fact, after I've sold them houses, been like, I always loved seeing whatever you were going to show up in that day. Your outfits are always so put together. And it really is a thing. Like people really do notice that. So I can understand from an older person's perspective how that matters and being put together matters. But I want to talk a little bit more about how like they perceive, I guess, what the style is now. Because style has changed so much. Like people really aren't that afraid to show a little bit of skin. Like not anything inappropriate,
Yeah.
but like what is appropriate versus what isn't appropriate. And there's kind of like gray area now, I think.
Yeah.
I think especially if you're a business owner, you own your own business, you're like Kelsey and I, real estate agents, like you don't really have rules, but there's also like a standard. So like, do you dress differently around different types of clients, like things like that? I'm curious what your take is on that.
It's you're so right in the fact that there is such a gray area. And I was trying to think about it too when I was having that conversation with the woman, trying to understand like what exactly makes an outfit unprofessional. Is it because we're not wearing long skirts? Is it because we're not wearing like, I don't know, these fitted suits, things like that that they once wore? It's really tough.
Nothing under it, and it's just a V. Like,
Right. Like it's tough to figure out, even like from the both of us who are like in the fashion world. Like it's tough because I even look back on like 90s fashion and even 80s fashion, and it was still a little like it was similar in the sense that I feel like women felt comfortable showing more skin. So like how far are we talking? You
like the
know,
1950s,
it's
1950s,
like,
it's a
yeah,
different time. Like our grandparents, like my grandma was probably in her like 20s in the 50s.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like that was a very different time. That was like women weren't really working. Women were housewives
yeah,
and they were wearing like poodle skirts and
yeah,
they were, like it was a different time. And now women are taking charge of their own lives. Like they're not looking to men for everything anymore. Like
no,
they're making their own money, they're making their own careers, they're their own people now, really. And they can make their own decisions on what they want to wear. Like we're empowered enough now to be able to do those things where women back then weren't. And
yeah,
if they did do anything out of the norm, I actually have a funny story now that I'm saying it, but if they did do anything out of the norm, they'd be ridiculed for it. Now we're like, haha, like I don't care. Like I'm going to do whatever I want. But this is a funny story. My grandmother is also a fashion girly. Like she was like us. She made her own clothes back in the day. And my grandpa was coming to pick her up to take her on a date. And she walked downstairs in an outfit she completely made herself, and it was like all red. She was wearing like red stockings, a red dress, a red coat. I think maybe even the heels were red. Like it was a little like risque for that time period. And my grandpa was like, I'm not taking you anywhere looking like that. And she turned around, like stomped up the stairs and was so angry. She put on the exact same outfit that she made in black, and like she was like mourning her outfit that she couldn't wear out.
Oh
But
my
that's
God.
an insane example of like the way women were treated back then.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a crazy story.
She felt so good about her in that outfit too. And my grandpa was like, no way in hell I'm letting you walk out of the house like that. And today, oh my God, can you imagine a man saying this to us now?
Yeah. The
I would be
times
like,
have
okay,
changed.
then I'm not going. See ya.
Right. Then you're not the one for me. Bye.
Yeah. So, like, in my eyes, if a man doesn't like my outfit, that means the outfit's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
the girls and the gays are gonna love my outfit.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I don't know. That's a crazy story because that is very much how it was back then. And I just think women now have more confidence and they've like found themselves. And obviously it's a very different generation where we're almost equal to men in a sense, if
We're
not maybe a
different.
little bit more. But we're yeah, yeah, we're different. But we're not looked at as, the stay-at-home wives, and we're not looked at that way. Most women do work these days. So I think I don't know, maybe it's more respect. We get more respect that way, because we are hardworking. But at the same time, I don't know. I always wonder, like, also like a pretty woman, right? Someone who is just pretty and they dress feminine. Like, are they categorized as unprofessional because they're pretty and they are dressing nicely on social media?
Yeah, that's a big conversation to be had because it's not the woman's fault, but I see it a lot where, like, let's say there's a very beautiful woman and she has a very feminine body, right? Like bigger boobs or bigger butt, whatever it might be, long legs. If that is shown to any capacity, men, I don't think well, actually, I'm not going to say it's not women because I have seen women, typically older women, ridicule that. But men and maybe like the older women think it's unprofessional, but it's probably because they're just really hot.
Yeah.
And it's like, control yourself. This brings us back to like, I mean, I know you had a dress code or you had uniforms when you went to school when you were younger, but I didn't. And like, if you were a girl that had like a bigger butt and you were wearing leggings, like the girls with the bigger butts, me being one of them, I would get in trouble and I'd have to like change. But like the really skinny girls that like didn't have the big butts didn't have to change out of their leggings. And it's like, the boys need to control themselves.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's sexualized. Like, I think that's really what it comes down to, is the sexualization of pretty women and their bodies, but it's not their fault. Even if they are dressing maybe professional, but like a little bit more robust in certain areas, like that's not fair. And I have seen that come up a lot.
Yeah. No, it's always like another thought in my head too. It's like, because obviously, like I try to incorporate the fashion side of me into my Instagram as well as obviously real estate. But I think about that sometimes too. It's like, what are people thinking of me because they just see me in like a nice outfit and, I handle myself well? Like, are they thinking that I'm unprofessional because I'm posting, that side of me? I don't know. I always like overthink it.
There was a time, I think early on, when I was younger, I definitely was overthinking a lot and I wanted to be respected and I wanted to be looked at as professional. And I think me wearing like the uber professional looks like for so long like helped with that. And then I started like posting my fashion
Yeah.
outfit like looks more, and they were all like me in suits and stuff like that. So it kind of created like an idea of me in a professional eye. I wasn't really posting just like my casual outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were. Now I'm in like a totally different zone where I'm posting more of just like my casual outfits. I do post outfits of me going like to a showing or something like that, but I'm also posting like me out on Friday night with friends and what I'm wearing for that and my workout outfits. And I'm not afraid to show a little bit of skin. Like I'm 30 years old. Like I do not care what people think about me anymore. And I feel like that comes with time. Like if you know you carry yourself a certain way and you know that you've built that respect amongst people in your industry and you're carrying yourself that way, who cares?
I know.
There's always gonna be people. There's always going to be people that think things,
Yeah.
but you know who you are.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. I think it's also just, being in the profession that we're in the career that we're in, like, people are made to believe that they only need to focus on one thing and one thing only. And so there's a lot of factors that kind of go into that. But
Yeah.
kind of going like back to what we were talking about, like professionalism today, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Is it like behavior or is that your appearance?
I think it's solely built off of and like perceived solely off of how people perform and how
Yeah.
they handle their businesses and their jobs. And that's what it comes down to these days. Like, especially because most of these companies are now remote. People are working remotely and they only see their coworkers on a screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to perform. Who cares about what you look like? I mean, I'm sure most people out there are putting a shirt on and they have sweatpants on underneath. Like it's just up here and that's all that needs to be visible for the day. So
Yeah.
I think that that's really what it comes down to these days. And of course, I do think the way you dress and the way you carry yourself is like an added bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I really value that. That's just like how we've always been our whole lives, though. Not everybody cares about their outfits. Not everybody cares about fashion, and that's okay. But if you're an entrepreneur and you own a business, it's about the product and how you can sell that product, and it's not necessarily about the way you look.
It's not. I agree with you. It's actually funny because I've had a few people, real estate agents, but also women in professional settings, reach out to me and want me to style them. They're like, I have a professional career. I have to travel. I have to go here. I got to go there. And I don't have the proper attire to like make me feel like the professional that I am. And so I want to work with you to develop that wardrobe and what that would look like. And to me, like that solidifies kind of everything that I've been focusing on and who I am. It's like, okay, people see me as the professional who dresses well, but also is knowledgeable and all the other things that fall into place.
Yeah, and I pride myself on that too. I'm the same exact way. And like you said earlier, it helps me like perform better. Like when I feel really good in the way that I look, that helps me. I know a lot of people say that, this is kind of like it is about appearance in our industry. And I do think there is a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like the way you look does matter slightly in our industry. Like people are seeking you out to work with you. And why would they want like a slob showing them houses every day? Like they're going to want someone that like carries themselves well, put together, professional, appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Appropriate. Also, like if you're working with like a couple, like a husband and a wife, you also have to be appropriate as a woman in front of the wife. Like, you have to carry yourself with like some sort of elegance.
Yes, that's the right word, is elegance. Because as we know in real estate, I don't want to say in all cases and situations, but it's usually the woman who makes the decision on the house, and then
Yeah.
the man pays for it. Or, he also has a say, but it's usually like whatever my wife wants or whatever she likes, I'm just kind of along for the ride. So it's true. You have to carry yourself with elegance, especially in those situations. I will also say that when it comes to opportunities too, I do think the way you dress matters because an opportunity is going to fall on your lap if you are looking presentable and professional and looking the part, essentially, than somebody who isn't.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that that hasn't changed, that standard hasn't changed across like professionalism, but the styles and like those types of things are like those have changed and they've transformed as time has gone on.
Yeah.
So I'll say in that sense, like, yeah, baggier pants now is more of a thing instead of like structured and clean cut, like perfectness. Like it doesn't always need to be that. But I think, like not showing your cleavage and your midriff, like things like that. I think that that's pretty across the board.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to presence overall.
Yeah,
I think
no short skirts. But they
no,
definitely don't get me down to the floor. Like
yeah.
that has changed for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's more flexibility, I guess you can say, when it comes to a professional attire, but still keeping it polished and intentional. And like, just like you said earlier in the podcast, is just putting the effort into it, showing that you care. Because when you do that, you are going to show up better for yourself. You're going to show up better for your career, for the people in your life. It's amazing what a good outfit can do to your
Yeah.
nervous system.
So I'm for the girls out there, I'm curious what you think is like business professional, like what types of outfits would you say now are business professional?
Business professional, I will say it's is different than business casual. So
Absolutely.
business professional, I would say still a blazer, but it can be an oversized blazer. It can be a relaxed blazer. It doesn't have to be a structured, tailored blazer. A good trouser, similar to just like, the new pantsuit today. It's more relaxed. It's not so feminine and tailored. Um, Even like midi skirts. Like I wore one the other day. I wore an outfit where it was a black blazer that had cutouts on the side, so it did show a little bit of skin, but then I offset it with a pleated midi skirt from Theory with pumps, like classic pumps. So like that's a way that you can make it look feminine without making it look like you're so buttoned up.
I completely agree. And business casual, you can wear jeans in business casual. I don't know if that was different back then,
Yeah.
but I feel like when we were getting out of college, when I heard business casual, that meant you can wear jeans. So now for sure business casual is jeans and obviously just no like sweatpants, sweatshirts, leggings, still like put together a nice blouse or even like what Kelsey and I are wearing, like button down shirts. You can
Yeah.
wear you could wear sneakers, business casual, but I usually pair it with like a low heel or something or a flat.
Yeah. And like there isn't anything wrong with a short skirt. If people like short skirts, like there's nothing wrong with it, but there's a certain way to style it. So if you're gonna wear a short skirt that shows more skin on the legs, then you wear a top that's a little more buttoned up. You wear something
Yeah.
that is not showing skin, or maybe it's, I don't know, like a top with a blazer and you wear the blazer over so that it's not just like a tank top and a little skirt.
Yeah.
Or other way around. If you're gonna wear a top that is showing a little bit more skin, then you're gonna wear bottoms, whether it's a longer skirt or trousers or jeans if it's a business casual to offset that. You can't wear bottoms that are, showing a lot of skin and also wear a top that's showing a lot of skin. That's where
Yeah.
I think there's the balance isn't there. You need a balance.
Absolutely. I also feel like back to how professionalism has changed. I think social media has like a massive play in this. And like that's why things change so much with like the influencers and links at everyone's disposal and all of that. No one's really like showing like their, well, people do show their day to day at work sometimes, but it's more so like what we're seeing a lot with like links and outfits and all that. It's like influencers where they're not going to an office and sitting in an office all day. So people are pulling looks that they like from these influencers, and that's kind of the outfits that they go for, and that's what they're wearing in their day to day. So I think that takes like a huge play, and that's why probably so much has changed.
It's actually crazy because when I am helping women on the styling side of my business, there are some women, because they're in a corporate world, where they want something more buttoned up. They want something more feminine cut, tailored, kind of what people used to wear back in the day. And I will say it is so hard to find.
It
It
is.
is so difficult to find that because in the world that we're in now, and it's heavily influenced by the influencers, like you were saying, it's very baggy, relaxed, oversized. Like it's just so different. And I do think that the influencers influence, funny enough, do influence the fashion trends. And so it's not that somebody necessarily, I guess, maybe doesn't want to dress that way. It's just when you go to the retailers, you really can't find anything different.
Yeah. And even if they do find something somewhat to that extent, they're going to have to get it tailored.
Yeah.
There's no like one-stop shop anymore. Like you got to go through a whole process. I just bought a little bit more of a like a tailored suit. It's more form-fitting than some other suits I've wore that are a little more oversized, and I still have to go get it tailored. It's never just like you buy it and it's form-fitting. It's the whole process.
It is. Yeah, it is. And that's a whole other thing. I feel like a lot of people don't like to tailor their clothes. They just want to buy and wear, which I'm one of those people, you know? I don't want to go, I just bought it. I'd rather wear it that day. I don't want to wait a week to get it tailored.
That really is a whole other conversation. Like tailoring is another way of presentation.
Yeah.
You don't want to wear something that doesn't fit you properly. It's not going to present well. It's not going to even look good on you.
No.
You have to. There was a long time that I didn't get things tailored. I was like, whatever. Like I'll just cut the bottom off myself or like do those things myself. And now like I'm older, have more money, like I don't have a problem going to the tailor all the time, but it sucks. It's like you buy something, you're excited to wear it. I'm short. I'm 5'2", so like pretty much every single pant I buy, I have to get hemmed.
Yeah,
But it looks better that way. It looks more put together.
it does. Yeah. Tailoring is definitely part of the process. There's no doubt about it. Tailoring is a huge part of looking the part and, you know, showing up the way that you should be showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now we can kind of wrap things up a little bit and get into my favorite segment, hot takes. And I came prepared. I have one today. It has nothing to do with what we were talking about, though, which as they normally don't. So I don't even know how to frame this, but I struggle with this. And I don't know if any of you out there do as well. But I feel like we've talked a lot about like there being boundaries, people setting like too many boundaries for themselves and then not being like good friends because of it, things like that. This kind of goes along with that. I feel like there's so many people that have to walk around people's feelings and sensitivities. So much so that they can't really share their true thoughts and true feelings about things. And I really can't stand like just tiptoeing around people's sensitivities. Like you can't say anything in certain conversations because you're afraid how someone's going to react to it. You're afraid that someone is going to be overly sensitive and hurt by it. Like, can people control their emotions? Can people, like, I hate to say it, like, grow a pair? I don't know. Like, just get a little bit more, like, tough skin. Like, not everything is meant to, like, hurt your feelings. Sometimes things can just be what it is exactly said. It doesn't need to be like deeper than that. And I just feel like out there right now, I've heard a lot of people talking about things and like struggles with not being able to like say what they really want to say because it's really going to hurt someone's feelings. And obviously like that comes with not being mean and rude, but like if you can't say something to your friend in a genuine way because it might hurt their feelings, like I think people need to toughen up a little bit.
I mean, girl, preach.
I
I
can
think,
go on about that for a long time. It's really frustrating to me. Like I'm always kind of like, I don't know if I feel like I'm being insensitive a lot of the time, but I get frustrated when people are telling me like, oh, I couldn't say this to someone because they're really sensitive and like they're gonna cry. Like I would be like, what? Cry? Like
yeah. No, I yeah, I struggle with that as well. Because I'm big into communication. I like to talk about things, and it's definitely not a comfortable feeling walking on eggshells and not knowing the reaction that you're gonna get.
yeah,
It's not fun, and then you end up not saying anything, which doesn't help the situation. And then resentment gets involved, and it just turns into like this spiral downhill.
yeah,
Um, and it's like sometimes it's not even about them getting upset or sad, it's just like them getting defensive.
yeah. I feel like just overall, like we don't always need to consider everyone's feelings and everything anymore. Like I think as a society, people need to toughen up a little bit and not cry over every little thing. Or I'm not like I don't think I'm like an insanely confrontational person. Like I'd rather not, but I'm not afraid of it if I have to do it, type of thing. And like if a friend is coming to me about something and they want my opinion, I'm not going to tiptoe around their feelings. I'm going to straight up say how I feel. And that's how I am. And I think a lot of people know that that's how I am, people that I'm close with. And so it doesn't like register negatively with my close friends because they know it's coming from a genuine place.
Yeah.
But I think like it's tough. It's not that I don't care. It's that like does everyone always have to consider everyone's feelings? I just think that can we not? Can we like stop that?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. It would make life, I think, a lot easier in the
Yeah.
sense it's also like I guess it could also be the approach too, like how you approach it. But
Yeah.
I've also been told at times, like no matter which way I approach it, it's the wrong way. So it's like, so what is it? What is the right
That can be
way?
very blunt. So I know that that's not always the best, but sometimes I just don't care.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
I get it. I mean, it depends on like what level you're at. If you're at a level of being fed up, then you're gonna probably say it in a fed
yeah.
up way. If you're in the beginning phase of being like, okay, you want to know my opinion? All right, this is my opinion. It might be a little bit softer. But I do agree. I think it's just if someone's asking for your opinion, they should know that the door is open to get really any sort of response.
Oh yeah.
Positive, negative, the in between, all of it.
People that know me know if you're asking for my opinion, I'm gonna give it, and it's not always the opinion you're gonna want.
But hopefully they respect you. I mean, obviously they're coming to you for that.
Yeah.
So it's like they obviously respect you to an extent. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if you are blunt about it, they can maybe be upset initially, but then think about it.
Yeah. They're like, I asked you because I knew you were gonna be honest. I'm like, okay, well there you go.
Yeah, yeah. They can like then think about it for about 5 minutes afterwards and then be like, okay, you know what? I can see where she's coming from. I get it.
You don't need to take my advice, but
Yeah.
yeah, so
Right. So you're gonna get it.
yeah.
You're gonna get it.
My hot take is to not always walk around everybody's sensitivities so much and to just say it how it is.
Yeah. Say what's on your mind. I support that. My hot take is kind of along the lines of what we were talking about. And I don't think it's as good as yours. But from a fashion girly and somebody who, you know, likes to dress a certain way and styles clients, I'm not afraid to say that I love a good dupe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What?
And
It's 2026. Of course. Everything's
I
a
don't
dupe.
know. Some people are still against the dupes. But like I'm not talking
I
handbags.
mean, yeah, we're not talking about like ripping off like designer stuff or like or clothing brand. Like a dupe is different, right? It's not like fake brand stuff, right? Like you're not buying
No.
like where you think it's a designer bag but it's a fake. Like no, a dupe is
Yeah.
just like a dupe.
Yeah, it's not, it's not like it's not like the fake bags that you get on Canal Street
Yeah,
where it
yeah,
has
yeah.
like the Louis Vuitton logos all over it.
Yeah,
But
no, but, like those like boat bags that are like Hermes, like like those things, like
yeah, yeah.
they're
It
not.
is crazy though because you can get a lot of like the Canal Street type of stuff on like even Amazon now. It's actually crazy. Like I've
Yeah.
seen it in Amazon searches and I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. Or like that website, what is it? Like GH something gate.
Oh,
Um
DHP.
yeah. It's like that
Yeah,
too. I'm like, this is nuts. No, but like,
yeah,
just any sort of dupe, like even like shoes.
yeah. Everything is a dupe. Every brand is duping each other.
It's true. It's true. Or making very, very similar styles.
Yeah, I agree. It like I'm a big a proponent for high and low,
Me
and I
too.
think you are too. Yeah, like it's crazy out here the prices for everything these days. Like $68 for like a sports bra. Like, come on. Like everything's gonna have to be you gotta pick and choose here. Like I like to have like really good quality jeans because I know those are gonna last me a long time, or like a blazer, like things like that. Certain shoes, but like not all shoes. Like some heels get like destroyed. So it's like whatever, like I don't want to spend like thousands of dollars on a designer heel when I know it's already gonna get destroyed.
Right. Yeah. It's stuff like that where I'm like, no, it's not worth my time and energy. But there are women, and I want to say like in the influencer world where they don't show that side. I'm sure they have several dupes of something, but they
Yeah.
make it look like they are rolling in the money and they're trying to portray themselves that way. And for me, I'm not afraid to say that like, I love a dupe here and there.
Because you're real.
Yeah.
They're
I
renting from Fibrell. Like it's
yeah,
not even their bags.
right. So it's like you can do both. You can do high and you can do low. You don't and still look the part without having to spend
Exactly.
millions and millions and millions of dollars.
I agree. Focus on tailoring.
Yes. Yes.
Focus on like making things look good on your body.
Yes. So that's
Yeah,
my I guess my hot take of the day is that I like a good dupe and
I like that
let's
one.
normalize the dupes.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent for that too.
I
All right,
love
well,
that.
this was a really good episode. I know it was like a quicker one, but I feel like we made our point.
Yeah, we did. We did. And next, hopefully we can get somebody on so that we can really dive deep
Yeah,
into
yeah, maybe
the
me and my
meaning.
aunt.
Oh, okay. All right,
She would be
stay
a good
tuned.
one.
Stay
Yeah, stay
tuned.
tuned, guys. My aunt, if she comes on one day, I know you guys are all gonna love her. She's a character.
She's the best.
Yeah, she really is. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.
That's a wrap on this episode of At the Table with Powerhouse Women. Thanks for tuning in. If you love today's conversation, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Your support helps us keep pulling up more seats at the table.
Want to keep the conversation going? Join the movement at powerhousewomen.com/society.
And connect with us on Instagram at Powerhouse Women.
Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and remember, there's always room at the table for you.